Let's talk about now the fifth component, which is credit mix. This is really looked upon if you can really handle different trade lines you have. This is these five components. You want to make sure you have a nice variety of them on this credit mix. All right, and as promised, here's a little bonus training. This is a lifestyle self-examination worksheet that you can use for your own current expenses. Here's an example. This is something that I did 10 years ago, and it really helped out. Now, of course, I'm going to put it out there that I understand that you probably have Excel spreadsheets that can make this look a little bit more sophisticated, but we're really talking about the basics. If you really understand what I've been talking about with the five elements of credit, then you can see how your everyday expenses kind of fits in. So usually people have a phone bill and a cable bill, and they may have a couple of credit cards, and they pay rent and utilities. Okay, that's fine. But what you want to do is put together a chart and look at these things, point by point. Let's go with your phone bill. Now, your phone usually is not reported on your credit. The only time it gets reported on your credit if you're paying late and if you're in collections. So for as long as you're paying that bill and you're paying the bill on time, you have no problems. It's only when you go over that threshold. And so in this situation, on the phone bill, is it paid on time? Yes. Late doesn't apply. There's no limits. There's nothing to owe and no ratios. That's good. And then your cable bill. As you see in this situation, the cable bill is late. Okay, that's something you might want to look at because once again, your cable bill is not in your credit report. But if you're paying late and you go into collections, you may have a problem. We're really focusing on your credit cards. Now here, when you talk about the utilization ratio, which is 30% of your score, you want to look at these things. Are you paying your Visa bill on time? Yes. Okay, that's great. Because remember, number one, if you're paying your bills on time, they go 35% of your score, you're great. Late, no. The limit on this card is $1,000. You owe $175. Your utilization ratio is 17.5%. Great. It's under 30%. You cooking with gas. Now we look at your MasterCard. Is it paying on time? Yes. Late, no. What's the limit? $2,500. What's owed? $750. What's the ratio? 30%. Okay, you're still good because we always recommend 30%, but if there's any way to pay that down and get it down to under 30%, put you in a better standing. Let's look at your Discover bill. Okay, on time, yes, that's great. Late, no. Limit, $1,800. Owed, $575. Uh-oh, you're at now 31%. Now, that's not terrible, but remember, we recommend you be at 30%, which means if you can pay that $575 down a little bit and maybe get it at $350 or $200, that's going to put you under 30%. Your rent, yes, and usually rent is not on your credit report unless you deemed it so, and then it can be reported. I always try to tell people that if you've been shady on your rent, you may not want that reported. On your utilities, late, yes. Now, utilities is not on your credit report unless you are late. And so here are the things we want you to just kind of look out for. Look at these warnings. Remember we said about the cable bill. For as long as it's late, for it's not past a 30-day threshold, you're good. But you're now talking about getting 30 days late on your cable bill, this could be negatively reflected on your credit report. We talked about the Discover card. You see here, you're at 31% debt utilization ratio. That's above 30%. You want to get that down. And then utilities, remember, that's a warning because if you can get over 30 days, this might be negatively reflected on your report because you may go into collections. This was just a little thing that I use to just kind of look at my existing expenses and just put them in categories so I understood exactly what I needed to do. And when I understood that, this is how I was able to really maintain good credit because now I understood some of the mistakes I was making. Because I remember being late on my rent one time and not thinking much about it, where I was about 45 days late, and it did report on my credit report simply because it went into collections. These are things I did not know. So I'm really hoping that the training that you went through will actually help with your everyday expenses. And remember, you may be in a situation where you might want to get new credit. That's fine, but you want to make sure you take care of your existing expenses and make sure that all the dots, all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted. And you can maintain credit for as long as you need it, be able to leverage yourself and take yourself into higher heights. We really hope you enjoyed this training. Shark Shark.